how are you?
What's going on, Mike? How you do?
I am wonderful, and we want to welcome everybody to Game 32 of the Real Racquetball Show. We really appreciate the change of evening. Last night would have been our normal time, but we all had a board meeting for USA Racquetball, so would have been a difficult time to get both of them in at the same time. So we appreciate everybody being flexible.
Yeah.
So Maurice, how was your Thanksgiving? How was your holiday?
It was great. Spent it with family. I wasn't going to say what I was about to say because that might be controversial, but spent it with family, had some food. And yeah, just got to just see people I haven't seen in a while, really. How about yourself, Mike?
It's great. It's really cool. I had a great time. Same thing. Saw a lot of family. Ate too much, laid around, watched some football. That was about it. So
Kansas City,
nice.
Right?
Yeah. Don't racquetball though. Not yet.
Huh?
No racquetball though. I'm working on it.
You said that for the last 9 shows, Mike. I ain't even worried about it. We already got a date for Vegas. I don't even care. We already got a date for Vegas.
My doubles partner's having some eye surgery tomorrow, so once he's healed up, give him a week to get healed up, and then we're going to go hit the court. So
I hope he's successful.
Soon. Yeah. It's a good dude. He just retired from the police department after 30-some years. So he's a good dude.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's just jump right in. We've got a really cool show tonight. Special guest that everybody's going to want to hear from. Some really neat topics to talk about, some things that we're doing within USA Racquetball, some great activities going on. So let's just jump right in. One of the first things we want to talk about is, everybody knows from watching the last show, the Real Racquetball Champion. Had our champion awarded last show. We are still looking for nominations. So if you have someone in your area that is doing something great, whether it's with juniors, just teaching new players, anything that they're doing that's helping the sport grow to get racquetball back on its feet after this enormous COVID time, just send us an email, give us a call, tell us what their name is, a little bit about what they're doing, and we would love to recognize them so that everybody knows that these individuals are doing great things. So, and part of that is we want those individuals to talk about what they're doing so others will catch on.
Yeah.
When someone's doing good, other people will see it and they'll want to help. And those that have seen all of the awards we've given out in this category, it's amazing. We've had some fantastic people. So please send us your nominations. Let us know who those folks are behind the scenes that are doing all the work. Next up today, you've probably seen, if you're on social media at all, every nonprofit or charity in the country is talking about today is Giving Tuesday. It's a great day within our country that we all celebrate those charities that are doing great work by giving something. And USA Racquetball is no different. It's Giving Tuesday for us. We set a goal of $5,000, and just before we started the show, Renee informed me that we're halfway there. We've got $2,475 donated so far today. Fantastic. We appreciate everybody that's donated.
Thank you.
And it's about numbers. If we get everybody to give $5, or if everybody gave $1, we'd meet our goal quickly. We have an anonymous donor that is offered to match up to $2,500 donated during the show. So everybody that's watching this until 8 p.m. Mountain Time, every dollar that's given up to $2,500, this individual will give an equal dollar for. So if we can get $2,500 donated, that individual will give us an additional $2,500 donated to USA Racquetball. Fantastic.
Thank you.
We have a lot of really generous people within racquetball that really understand what's being done, how hard it is to get things moving in our present day, and understand that it takes staff, money, resources to do. And we appreciate every dollar we get. So thank you all very much. If you would like to give, you can go to the USA Racquetball website. On the carousel, the first link up there takes you directly to the Giving Tuesday link. So we really appreciate that. Looks like we've had $240 donated already since we started the show. So that turns into $480 with our matching donor. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're on a good roll already. So with that, let's invite in our first guest. Everybody knows Connor Shane, Director of National Events.
What's up, guys?
Connor, howdy.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Connor?
And
What is
Maurice is chuckling, and I know why.
Let's just keep it going. Why not? Everybody knows about it already.
No, we don't. I
Don't-
swear. I've never said it online. I've never have. I promise you.
Okay.
No, you definitely have. You definitely have.
What?
Since we're not going to keep secrets from all the viewers, we'll let you in on what the joke, why it is. We've had multiple people, and during the U.S. Open, a lot of people came up to Connor unprompted and asked him about his phenomenal backhand and how great a tournament he was having. Well, Connor doesn't play racquetball.
No, not at all.
What
No.
they were referring to was he looks a lot like Sam Murray, the Canadian champion, singles champion, great ball player.
Yep.
A lot of respect. He's one of those players that you get a chance to watch him play. Really good. But there are similarities, and people mistake Connor for Sam. And
The only
Maurice
thing
likes
that
to
makes
giggle about
that-
and joke, and we have a lot of fun with it. So
It is. The only thing that makes that joke funny is that he and I are both equally annoyed with it.
yeah, we did find out that Sam's not all that thrilled with the conversation.
Sure.
But,
No.
Yeah.
well, we'll just jump right into the topic. How about that? We'll just skip that part.
Yeah, let's do it.
Connor.
So, national events update. Obviously, we're still, running into some current pandemic issues, but it's starting to open up a little bit. We've got a lot of emails from tournaments going around the country. That's super good news. Some of the heavier hitters, Texas, California, have been increasing their events like crazy, which is great. We've seen some opening up, Washington, Oregon, and California, Northern California were locked down quite heavily, and those athletes are getting on the court again. So that's really beneficial. We're seeing these emails come in quite a bit, and it's very, very positive news. And we're ready to ramp up for national doubles. So Tempe, Arizona has been our host for a very long time, over a decade almost.
Yeah.
And it's a great facility. The Sun Devil Fitness Complex is going to be exactly where we were last time. It'll be where we are this next time. We did contract the Graduate and the Moxie, so we're super excited about that. We're going to have the athlete party Saturday, and those dates are February 2nd through the 6th. So the website is live. Feel free to jump on there and register when need be. The hotel link is on there too. We have negotiated rates for both the Graduate and the Moxie. And like we mentioned quite a long time ago, I'm not sure if anybody quite remembers that, how we talked about staying inside our room block does really help us, USA Racquetball, and some of the money we can put towards the event. We do get paid for every athlete that stays in one of the hotel room blocks booked through our portal. And that money goes directly back into the tournament. So, and if it's, a little bit more expensive, feel free to shoot me a message. I can always find a better hotel for you if you're not keen on doing that yourself. But otherwise, we're pretty excited for that. And then National High School is right after that. I'm looking at March 2nd through the 6th. So that website will be up in just a little bit, but that'll be in St. Louis. So those athletes have been off that championship for 2 years now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been tough. So very tough. We were very sad to see some of those programs hurting. Those and the intercollegiate programs both are hurting quite a bit with, not having the championships ready. But we're really excited for those two events.
Yeah, I learned today that in St. Louis, they're having a high school tournament this weekend. I was speaking with Dan Whitley, the gentleman that runs the leagues and such in St. Louis. And this high school tournament they have this weekend has 438 students in it. There are 438 entries in their high school tournament in St. Louis. That is just amazing.
That's incredible.
So it's a great program, and Dan's working hard to create a way to duplicate that out and help other people. So anybody that's interested, reach out to USA Racquetball. We will get you as much information as you possibly can on how to set something like that up. It takes a long time. It's not something you set up and all of a sudden you have hundreds of kids in. They've been growing their program for a long time, and it's really become very successful. It's the model of what we want others to do. Oregon's just hot on their tail. They've got a lot of students in their program also, but I was really impressed that they've got 438 kids in their tournament this weekend, and they're going to play a lot of high school racquetball this weekend. So congratulations to St. Louis and Dan and all of his team putting that on.
That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible. We're really excited to go to St. Louis. It's a fantastic place to host a tournament. So I'm very excited to hear that the high school program's increasing.
Yeah.
So,
it's great.
On the national level, that's really all I got for you. It's a short update, and we'll have dates for intercollegiates and national singles are posted, but we'll have locations for those posted as soon as possible. I'm waiting on some signatures.
Yep. Okay. Sounds greght. And for national doubles, if you want to register, you can go to USA Racquetball website. We have emails going out. There are posts on social media, but if you go to the website on the main page, scroll clear to the bottom, it's listed right there on the main page at the very bottom, and you can click on the link. And I noticed today that we have our first entry into it. So thank you, Cindy Tilbury. We will see you in Tempe, Arizona.
Yep, agreed.
Right.
Thanks for sign up, and let me know if you guys have any questions. My email is always open. The link to register is also in the comments.
Yep. All right.
All right, guys.
Appreciate the update.
Hey, brother. Thanks for everything, man.
Yep. All right. Well, that's cool. It's always fun to have Connor on.
It's always fun.
He's really working hard behind the scenes, finding places, and it's surprising how much of a challenge it is to find locations that are open, that are willing to book a national championship. Because a lot of ones that are open just aren't real excited about booking a national championship where we're going to bring hundreds of people into their club.
Mm-hmm.
It's still challenging, and unfortunately, we keep hearing on the news that it's not getting better. There's new variants coming out, so we'll see. We're going to keep working at it, though. We're going to hold these championships. There's a lot of tournaments happening. So, all right, next topic. A lot of people have seen, if you've gone to the website and looked up what your ranking is, we've put a lot of time, energy, and investment into creating a new ranking program. The algorithm and the logic behind it is exactly the same, but it's programmed into a new server. It's going to be a much quicker, much faster, much more automated system. So ultimately, it will be a much better system. One of the goals of doing this was we needed a way to have this run automatically without human interference in it, so that it would run weekly. I believe the day that's going to happen is on Wednesday. I could be off. I need to check for sure, but I believe it's every Wednesday. The rankings will run automatically during the evening. So tournament directors can have a couple days to get their results turned in. It'll run. It may or may not help the tournament that's that weekend, but it certainly will the next week. So it will be run much more frequently. It's singles, men's and women's, doubles, men's and women's. We are working on a mixed double ranking system that will be added in the fairly near future. It's a little more complex to create that. We've got a committee that's working on how to set those algorithms up. We've changed the algorithm for the doubles ranking, so we're looking for it to be much more dependable, much more trustworthy for tournament directors. Maurice, I know you're on that committee, and you guys have put an enormous amount of work into testing and figuring out the best way to do this. So applaud you and the entire group for all the work you're doing.
Thanks.
So, but they're up. When you go in and look at them, anytime you do some custom programming, we imported all of the rankings into the new system, ran it. There's always going to be some anomalies in it. So if you go in and see something that's not, just really seems like it's not right, please let us know. Be patient with us. There are a lot of names in those, thousands of names and thousands of rankings for men's, women's, and doubles. There's no way for us to verify every one of them. So We're looking for you guys to let us know if something's really out of whack. If you've moved up or down a few numbers, that's okay. That's going to happen because once the rankings were input, we ran that back so it would really clear up any things that weren't quite right beforehand. So as time goes along, it will even itself out. Everything will come together. We're adding a lot of verbiage to the website page to help explain. We're doing a Q&A. I saw most of it was written today. We've got a few more questions to put on there, and then that'll all be posted on that page. So if you've got a question about why is it something the way it is, we will have it posted on there and hopefully answer your question. But certainly if not, send us an email. We're happy to answer it. But we just ask that just be patient as we're working through this. Ultimately, it's going to be a better system. One of the questions that came up that I can answer real quick and easy was someone had asked if it used to be that if you didn't play a tournament within 12 months, your ranking fell off. You weren't shown in the rankings anymore. So you had to play at least one tournament a year. With COVID, we extended that to 25. So 25 months. So the length of time is much longer, and we're going to keep it that way for some time now. It may stay there all through 2022. We just don't want COVID to be the reason somebody comes off the rankings. If you're in an area that isn't playing tournaments, you should still keep your ranking points. One of the other things somebody asked was there are people missing. Probably the most obvious one is Kane's not showing as the #1 player in the world. He's not on the ranking at all. The ranking is for USA Racquetball members only. If your membership is not current, you won't show on the ranking. You don't lose anything. You stay in the background, and your ranking stays there. And you can move if the ranking runs. You could move in the rankings, but as soon as you become an active member, your name will pop right back up where it's supposed to be. So we don't get rid of anything. You don't lose anything. It just don't show on the ranking because it's a USA Racquetball process. And we want to encourage everybody to support the rankings. It's a big part of why a lot of people are members. It's a big part of what we do. And we invest a lot of time, energy, and money into keeping that. And this part has been a big part. All right. So any questions, send us an email. All right. Next fun thing. We got a question. We're going to give away a hat again. Another USA Racquetball, really cool hat. I've got a couple more of these left, so we'll do this for another couple shows and then decide if we're going to order more hats or not. But the question for this is about, since we're competing, Team USA is competing at the IRF World Championships. One of the members of Team USA for the longest time is Rocky Carson. And the question is, how many years has Rocky Carson been on the adult USA team? Anybody know? So if you go into the comments, put in the comment, first one to get the answer correct, I'll send you this hat. But how many years has Rocky Carson been on the adult team USA? Anybody want to guess? Maurice, I know you know, so I can't let you guess.
I can't say nothing. I'm trying to can't say nothing.
All right. Well, hopefully somebody will guess what the number is. We've got a bonus question that is also part of our special guest. Chad, you're in the ballpark. You're in the ballpark. So the bonus question doesn't win you a hat, but it wins you the praise of all of us and our special guest. What is the only event that Rocky Carson has not won a gold medal in?
I can't answer that one either.
Because you know the answer to that one. Anybody else want to guess on either the number of years, the number of U.S. teams, adult teams, don't include the junior teams, adult teams that Rocky Carson has been on since the start of his career? And also, what's the event that Rocky Carson has not won a gold medal in? He's won a gold medal in every international event except for one. And while people are working on that, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll get Stuart and Renee in the background, keeping an eye on that, and they will let us know when someone wins that. But until then, let's invite our special guest in and get Rocky. Carson, welcome to the Real Racquetball Show. How are you?
Hey, having me, guys.
Yeah, doing great. Well, I love your background there. It looks beautiful.
Backyard, taking advantage of a gorgeous, evening, sunset.
Yeah, oh, fantastic. I think it's 40 some degrees and rainy here, so not quite. I can't be outside.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Well, we really appreciate your coming on the show, and kind of the idea and the goal of this. We just want to get your perspective. You've been on the team for a long time and competed all over the world in different places. So just wanted some general questions to kind of get the conversation started. Where, of all the places you've traveled, what are some of your favorites? What are the ones that stick out in your head as, wow, that was a phenomenal place to go play racquetball?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. First of all, I think for myself, competing for Team USA and the opportunity to represent the U.S. is one of the biggest honors as an athlete we're going to ever get. First of all, so thanks for that opportunity. Thank you for all the support that you give Team USA and stuff like that. They're competing right now, and I'm not. I'm here in California at home. But I think the biggest, proudest moments I've had in the sport have been watching the U.S. flag and our national anthem as I'm standing on the top of a podium. Yeah. Those are some of the most amazing moments of my life, where you just try to stop time. Right. I've been able to compete playing racquetball professionally for so long, but when I do that, I'm competing for myself. Pretty selfish thing. No matter what, I want to win. It's pretty simple. But when I get to compete for the U.S., it's got more meaning behind it, and it's not just for me. It's for my country. It's for all those that support us. It's for each one of you guys. So those are some of my most proud moments of my career. And so I would just want to thank you for bringing me on today and be able to share those experiences.
Good. Yeah.
When we get to like my favorite places to play, let's go into that. I've had some amazing tournaments. Let's put it there. My first tournament ever for the U.S. team. I got a phone call about a week before it happened. I didn't have a passport. I needed to get down, hustle my butt down to Cochabamba, Bolivia, and fill in for Michael Bromfield, who just injured his ankle, couldn't make it down. And Coach Winterton at the time had said, "Hey, we need you down here." Busted our butt. That was one of the most memorable events I've ever been to. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know what I was even doing, truthfully. I got there 2 days late. Got there, had to compete the next day. I ended up losing in a tight match to Dan Obrimsky in the semis of the Worlds. He lost 11-10 in the finals. That was one of those amazing experiences. I remember walking into the main event where the racquetball courts is, massive country club there in Cochabamba, Bolivia, gorgeous, by the way. And I remember walking in, and it took me an hour to get from the entrance to the main court, which was about 5 courts away, dealing with the media, the newspapers, the radio shows, the TV interviews, and everything as the tournament went on. And the love and the passion that they had was one of the most amazing things I've have ever experienced in my life. Period, whatever it might be. And it was like that all week long. And I went back a couple of years ago, and I was in Bolivia, and it was very much like that as well, still, if not even more. And it's neat to see what that country has done with racquetball, and to see what their players have done, and the growth that they've made. One of my favorite tournaments I ever had was in Ireland, and that was one of my favorite, being that it was my first time I ever won the World Championships. I had an amazing comeback against Jack Cusack in the finals. He won the first game, I believe, 15-13. I was down 14-10 or so in the second game and had like 5 match points against me, and came back, won that match or that game, and went down again in the tiebreaker to come back after 3 more match points. I think 8 total match points in Ireland, and to be able to experience Ireland for the first time and to see the countryside. That was really neat. Here's one that you'll enjoy. At the time, Mike Guidry's our coach. We're at the World Games in Taiwan, on this gorgeous port city on the south side of Taiwan. And if any of you guys don't know me much, I do surf a lot. And we're playing the World Games out there. And it was an amazing tournament, amazing city, one of the cleanest cities I've ever been to. And they were so loving and welcoming everywhere you went. And I remember every day we'd get up out of our hotel room and we try to go and find things to do, whether it's watch other sports at the World Games. For me, I enjoyed going down to the port, onto the island, or the peninsula, where they had a lot of shopping and you could eat fresh seafood. And then on the other side might have been some gorgeous beaches that I really tend to enjoy. And I did see some surfers out there. So while I got out there after the first couple of days, I got to figure out where I can get a board and where I can get out in the water. And I spent a good amount of that tournament playing a lot of racquetball and getting in a lot of surfing on black sand beaches. And I remember renting a board for like $10 a day or $6 a day or something. And just one of my favorite tournaments I've ever been to.
Nice.
So there's a few of them. I could go after one after another and stuff. But those are a few of my favorites.
And I'm sure they all had special parts to them that would ring in your head. So of that first one, your first trip out, you had a week to come up with a passport. You couldn't do that nowadays. You must have had a place you could just go and get one walked in or something.
Right. We had to go to Wilshire. I was so mad at my dad. Dad, didn't you send this stuff in? I was coming back from I actually had just won the Junior World Championships. I'm on my way home, driving from Portland, Oregon, the MAC Club in Portland. Yeah. And I got a phone call. Hey, we need you out here. It's like, all right, well, how do I get out there? I don't know. I didn't know what a passport was. I've really been outside the country. And it was a rush. And there was some, Dad, how are you going to get this? And obviously, he wanted it as much as I wanted it.
I'm sure,
for me. Yeah. And we got it all figured out, but we had to spend some time in downtown LA, down there off of Wilshire, begging for a passport, I believe.
Yeah, that'd be hard to do nowadays. I don't know if they'd get you one that quick.
Yeah.
So, well, that's neat. So have you played in Guatemala? The team is
that's right actually now? A great question. My first international tournament I ever won was in Honduras, which is obviously right next to Guatemala. And I remember going to Honduras thinking, where am I at? And I was getting them two mixed up. And even when I look at the map these days, I've been to a lot of Latin America throughout the years of all my competing. And proudly, I would say too, because the passion they have down there for our sport is just amazing. But I've never competed in Guatemala, never been there. I was really looking forward to going down there and competing. I really would love to win another world title for the U.S. and stuff, but and maybe check out some of the great beaches they have down there as well.
I would imagine. But
it didn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we understand the safety's got to be the first. Well, the bonus question we asked everybody was one that no one's been able to answer yet.
Right.
The only event that you've not won a gold medal in, and my understanding is it's Worlds is the one event, right?
It's not the World Championship. Obviously, that's where I've won quite a few titles representing the U.S. But it is the World Games. That was one of the tournaments in that was the tournament in Taiwan that was one of the most special in my career. I did end up losing to Jack, I believe, 11-9 or 11-10 in the finals. And that was a heartbreaking loss. I had to go and surf it off that afternoon before we had home. But it really was. It was a tough one. I had the chance to compete in Cali, Colombia in the World Games. And that was an interesting event. They just completed these gorgeous courts, and they 3-wall glass court in this thing, but they'd put in almost like what we would put in our homes with a distressed flooring. So the floors were uneven, and you could drop the ball, and the ball would bounce obviously this way or that way, or never where you actually expected it to. And I remember really being flustered and frustrated. And I ended up losing, I believe, in a tiebreaker of the semis, that event. And that's one of the hard things about not going to the World Championships this week right now is this will qualify the top 16 players to be able to compete in the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama, I believe this next summer. And that's a tough one to imagine. I don't get that chance to compete and try to represent the U.S. and also go get that one last championship.
Yeah. Well,
so, Rocky, being that you've missed this World Championship, could we hope you play the next one?
I really hope so. I would love to be able to keep on competing for the U.S. It's a great honor, great privilege, and it's what I hope I keep on. I want to be a part of this for a long time, and I'd like to possibly go after another singles title. And 2018, I played doubles with Sudsy, and I really did want to get that doubles title. We lost in the tiebreaker of the final. Yeah. That was a frustrating loss, and one of those I think both of us really want back, and we would have made some changes in the finals that I think could have made some changes in the results. I did want that doubles title, but it's been a couple of years since then, and I want to go and compete and maybe grab a singles title again.
Yeah.
Well,
you've been part of the team for so long that I can't imagine you're not competing in it, and you take such good care of yourself as a pro athlete that I don't know why not. Watching you play, you seem like you're as sharp as you've ever been. So we look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's a little bit of inconsistencies I had coming back after the pandemic. I didn't really play indoors for a year and a half in California. I didn't have any need to. So the mentality, the focus, I think part of it was, what was I expecting out of myself? And I had I feel like a somewhat realistic expectation in the beginning where it's like, hey, you get what you give. I didn't give a lot, so I didn't expect a lot. And that was never my mentality when I played before. And I'm getting that mentality back. I think actually over the last month or so, it's actually come back where it's starting to become, hey, I'm here to win tournaments. And I look forward to being able to do that.
Good. Well, that's good that as long as you've been playing on the team and just playing in general, that you still have that desire to want to compete and play enough that you'll go out and train for it. Because you're right, you get out of it what you put into it, and that's neat that fire still burns. So
yeah, it's the truth. I've been able to do this for a long time, and I don't want anybody to ever think I'm taking advantage of it. I'm living a dream that a lot of people wish they could live, and I want everybody to know I'm appreciative of that. I want to be able to make it. I want people to understand that this is not something I take for granted.
Yeah. Well, the athletes that are competing yesterday, today, and for a few more days, you've been in that situation enough times. Tell everybody kind of what that feels like. That first day, when you travel, you fly there, you get there, it's all new. The places are new, the hotels, the food. You don't have your regular rhythm, your routine that you have. Even going to a tournament like the U.S. Open, those kind of things, you at least have some familiarity with it. So what are they doing, and how are they going through this?
Right. Well, for myself, I kind of got acclimated to it over the years. It was something after about 5 years, it was like, all right, I know what to expect. In the beginning, it can throw you for a whirlwind. The top players that I think are going to be competing in this tournament, for the most part, most of them should be pretty acclimated to it because they're competing not only in the World Championships every year, but most of them are competing for their country in 1 to 2 to 3 events a year. So they should acclimate pretty quickly. it is different. You fly in, you get there, you acclimate, you get a couple of days of training in or hitting, trying to feel the courts out, feel the potential altitude or what might be going on with all that. I believe they're using a different ball than we do on the Pro Tour, so they have to acclimate to that if they haven't already, and that was something I never really focused on before a tournament. But the first few days, I think I posted on my storyline, and IRF posted it, is round robin play, pretty much to set up the seeds to the event. Don't expect anybody to play their best ball at this point. I don't think any of the top players really are worried about that. They're more worried about, hey, I got to get through this round robin draw without any losses, and the top players should be able to do that. The ones that have an opportunity to really win this tournament should get through that. Now, you got to remember this. Each top player for their country may not have a great seed, even though they're a great player, because maybe they didn't play for their country last time, or the number one player. So they don't go in as, Rocky Carson or Alvaro Beltran for Mexico or whatever. They go in as Mexico's number one and Mexico's number two or whatever, or USA's number one and USA's number two. So you're going to go in with those seedings rather than what I did last time at the World Championships. So for myself, if I would have been, there would have been USA's number one and Alex would have been number two. And you go in those seedings. So you compete through that, then you go into your main draw. The hope is that you don't lose any matches in those round robin seeding formats, because if you do, there's a good chance you're not going to obviously be seeded as high, but you're also going to possibly be playing your own teammate in the quarters or something like that. Something as a team you really never want to do.
Yeah.
I would imagine that one of the worst things you could do is knock out one of your own teammates out of the draw.
Yeah, and for the most part, those are your, the closest people you're to at those events.
Right.
So, Rock, do you have any advice for Team USA right now?
Yeah, well, get through this. Focus on one day at a time. For a lot of players, they're going to have to play their best ball to have to win a gold medal. And when you go in there understanding that, it's all right, how do I become the best player I need to be at that moment? Not for the whole tournament, but for at that moment. How do I go into this match prepared as much as possible? And that comes down to, all right, I need to be great for myself, but I also need to be aware that I'm not going to be perfect. And how do I take my opponents out of their comfort zone so that they're not perfect? Because they're going to have to play, some of these players are going to have to play players that are better than them. And how do I even the playing field in that sense, make them play, bring them down and bring myself up? Because if you can do that, it really can change the outcome of a whole tournament. And it's hard to sustain perfect racquetball all the way throughout a tournament, let alone freaking a game or a match.
Right. Yeah. And with the round robin seeding part of it, I could see, and that's your insight, and that's really, really, really neat for those of us that have never competed at that level or done those kind of things.
Right.
To make sure that they're playing their really good ball at that point, but peaking when you really have to once you get into the knockout, the draw part of it. So all the players that are on the team,
right,
who they are. So, and the ones that are playing singles and doubles. So, in fact, you played with Charlie as a partner,
right,
last year.
Yeah, we won doubles this last year, and we would have gone in as number one seed for US if him and I would have played together. And I think we would have been possibly 1, 2, or 3 seed possibly this tournament. I'm not sure what the seedings are, but we'd have been right up there. And
how hard is it for him to go in with a different partner that he's not played with much? Because you guys have played together quite a while.
Right, but we didn't have a lot of time on the court together. We played a few years together and stuff, but it wasn't like we were going and playing tournaments here and there. I didn't play a lot of doubles over the past 4 years or so. It was a tournament here, a tournament there, and stuff. So all that being the case, him and Jake could play amazing racquetball. I think Jake is one of the most he's one of the toughest players to play when you put him on the right side. He can hit a ball so hard that he can hit a bad shot and it can be good. He's physical. I think with those guys, I would throw Jake in the front court, and I would say, Jake, freaking be a bully.
Push him around. Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Right.
Doing it. You know, you can do that and be respectful. And then, hey, Charlie, your job is to make smart decisions, and your job is to execute when you get chances. You do a good job at both those things. Between them both, they'll give themselves a chance to win. They're able to compete at that.
So Jake's not playing with Charlie. He's playing with Charlie's playing with Alejandro.
Oh, so all right. So there you go. So I didn't know that. So that even changed since I talked to those guys. Well, there you go. Well, you got two great shot makers and two great players. So depending on which side they play and stuff like that, we know Alex knows how to win. He's done it at every level, and I've seen Charlie win too, right next to me. So I think that was a good chance.
Yeah, I think they're calling themselves Charlejandro.
That's right. I think I got a picture of a side-by-side of those two the other day. I think I laughed my head off, and it was them on the racquetball court and stuff.
They'll be quick on the court. They're going to be a very fast team to get around the court. That they're going to be hard to pass on. So
yeah, that's every team out there. Every team's going to cover the court. Every team's going to make great shots. It's who's going to be able to sustain and consistently put the pressure on their opponents and execute to get it.
Well, give us your thoughts a little bit on the women's side. Rhonda's been there a lot of times also. I should have looked up how many teams she's been on, but she's been on a lot of teams also.
Right. Rhonda's going to be right up there with me. How many years she's played on it. I believe she's got quite a few titles representing the U.S. as well. So really proud of what she's done. And it's neat to see what the fact that she's competing still in what she did for our team qualifying out here in the United States this summer. I think she's playing with, if I'm right, Erica.
Yep.
And they got a good chance. She's gonna have to be the captain of that team. I like Erica on the right side. She's physical, and you know, that physicality can take away from having to be perfect as a shot maker. And if Rhonda can execute really well, and Erica is physical, they're going to give any team a handful. And we all know Rhonda knows how to win.
Yeah.
So if she can get out there and put that magic together, they're going to give themselves a solid chance. And I hope they do. We all know Powell is going to be the favorite in singles and in doubles. You're going to have a few other teams that are going to be tough. Obviously, Guatemala with their top player on the ladies' side, Gabby. She's obviously an amazing athlete. Then you got, Mexico, you got Bolivia, and those are going to be the top teams that they're going to have to compete with. A few others probably that are going to run for it as well. Yeah. On the singles side, I think Rhonda, it'd be neat to see Rhonda pull off some upsets and stuff like that, because I wouldn't put her as the favorite, obviously, probably not even the top 3 or 4. You got Bolivia, you got Argentina, you got
Mexico
and others. But then again, it's Rhonda.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about that is she's been there, she's done that. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if she's able to pull some magic off again this year.
And watching her compete at the qualifier in Des Moines, I mean, she was playing as well as I've seen her play in years. Really impressed with how well she was playing. So I could be just great if she went in and surprised some folks in this, because they may not realize that she's really worked hard on her game. She's really playing well right now. So it'd be great.
Yeah. And the other thing, when you go to these events, it's a 8 or 9 or 10 day format of racquetball. So every day you're playing at least one game. If you're playing 2 events, singles and doubles, you're playing twice a day. Yeah. A lot of the times we play ourselves into shape. I would go to these events. Sometimes I wouldn't even practice much because I knew I'd be able to have a couple days of warming up before the event. I'd go into it. I'd have a couple, I don't want to say easy matches, but some tuner matches in the seeding rounds. And I would focus on, once I got into that event, all right, time to start getting better and better and better and peaking when I needed to peak. Yeah. And you might see that with some of these players, that you don't always see that at some of these IRT events or US Open or other things, because the moment they start that event, they may not have the seating. They have to go and they have to be at the top of the
Got to win.
and so you do have a little bit of time to correct some things as the weekend goes on or the week goes on, in all honesty, and to perfect things. You might get into one groove of a serve, or your ceiling ball game gets tuned in so well that it becomes an offensive weapon rather than just a defensive shot.
Yeah. And I know that Erica's playing some really good ball right now. I watched some of Kehlani's match today. She looked pretty sharp. I don't know what the result was. I didn't get a chance to watch the full match. It's unfortunate that I don't get to watch a lot of racquetball. You'd think I'd get to watch a lot of it, but I ended up in meetings most of the day. But I've caught several of the matches, and Kehlani looks sharp. I'm encouraged. We've got a good, strong team there, so I hope they do well.
Yeah, I do too. The biggest thing we're going to have to worry about is how do we handle the pressure? How do we handle that pressure, that extra pressure when it's put on us? And if they are able to give themselves a chance, that's what you can only hope for. Give yourself a chance when it comes down to it. Then that's going to be the biggest key right there.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know they're all thrilled to be there, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's always an amazing opportunity to represent Team USA.
So, Rock.
Yeah.
Any sponsors you'd like to thank over your career?
Well, of course. Well, first of all, I'm wearing a pretty awesome jacket right here. This is one of the Pan Am jackets. I purposely wore this supporting Team USA today.
Yeah.
I think I got this one at the Toronto Pan American Games, and these are always some of my most special uniforms that I get to wear representing USA.
Yeah.
We got the opening ceremonies, the closing ceremonies, so massive and big, and to be a part of that, and then to have some gold medals to run with those is oh man, it's I'll never forget those moments. And I believe on this one, I actually had my dad as one of the coaches on the U.S. team.
Oh, great!
So I just wanted to say, hey, go Team USA, support there. Obviously, Head and Rollout and Racket Roll, three of the most amazing racquetball companies in the sport. So please check them out on Instagram and stuff. Follow us all there. And then Dovetail by Design. I don't know if you guys watched us a week or so ago out in Florida. Dovetail put on that tournament. Really excited to be working with Dovetail, Team Dovetail. And the reason is he's really trying to come up with some ideas on how not to just be a sponsor and a partner of the sport, but to grow the sport and to take things to the next level, and especially at the pro level. And, this is what I've done for a living for so long. So it means a lot to me to have that kind of support. And I look forward to the potential that we might be able to make some little waves and maybe turn them into some bigger waves in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the trivia question we asked was how many years you'd been on the adult team. Nobody got it correct. So we had a lot of guesses. Some were lower, some were higher.
What was the closest?
We had one guess of 23.
Oh, come on, you guys. You're close.
A guess of 20.
Throw it out there.
One guess of 19. One guess of 24. And someone just said Chad started off with over 20.
That's correct.
Yeah. So we're going to give you just a few more seconds to guess on that, and if not, we'll let Rocky tell you exactly how many there were. When we were discussing this trivia question, I'll be honest, I was surprised. I would have guessed somewhere 15, 17, 18 maybe, thinking, wow, that's a terrific career to travel international and compete. But
my first year I qualified was for Team USA was I was a freshman in college. I played for Saddleback College, and I won intercollegiates, and that qualified me. I wasn't even out of juniors yet, and I ended up that was when I got the phone call to go down to Bolivia, and I think I qualified every year after that. I think I may have won the nationals maybe the year after that in Houston, and I've been able to compete for Team USA since then. There's 1 year, I will say, everybody, I did not qualify, which I didn't compete or try to qualify for. And I remember that year, I was ready for a break. I didn't want to travel, and I exercised that break.
Yep.
Bradley, you're a little bit too high. You're close. Bradley guessed 26. You're a little bit too high.
So 19 was my first year. I'm not 47 or 45 yet.
So it was in 2000. What was the first year you were on the team?
Let's see. The first year I would have been, I believe, it would have been 1998 when
when you first made it. So there's a
very strong
for everybody. And keep in mind what Rocky just said. So in the number of years he's been on the team. So we got just a few more minutes and we're going to let Rocky go.
Wait a minute.
Really appreciate your time.
You've been on the world team longer than I've been playing racquetball.
I've been on it more years than I haven't been on it in my life, which is crazy.
Wow.
And it feels like it just started yesterday, in all honesty. It's kind of like, I have a daughter that's going off to college this next year, and it's like, where did that go?
Yeah.
And it's just going so fast. And I think about that in my career a little bit. I mean, I've spent more years on tour and competing as a professional than I have not competing as a professional. And it's a big part of my life and where I've come from.
Wow. That's a neat stat to tell people that are playing with you and traveling with you and training with you that you've been on the Team USA more years than not. That's amazing. Well, we had one other guest, but I don't think she really qualifies. She already has a hat, so we won't give her a hat. She missed it.
All right. Well, do you want me to spill the beans?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yep. Go ahead.
98 was my first year, I believe. And I didn't qualify 1 year other than that. And I've been on the team, I believe, 22 years. I'm 42 now, as crazy as that seems. And I look forward to playing many more with you guys.
Well, we really appreciate it. It's an amazing stat. 22 years on the team, and not just on the team, but winning and competing at a very, very high level. So that's really cool.
No wonder you beat me all the time. Makes sense now.
Battle.
Chad
had some battles.
Yep. Chad, that's amazing, isn't it? 22 years. And Chad just put on 22 exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. That's
hey Chad, I think you won. I think that's
No, Rocky was the first professional player I met in person. I think he remembers. He was the first person I ever met in my first professional tournament. It was 2015, St. Louis, actually. That's the year they did an IRT tournament with the high school championships. There were had to be over 360 kids because there was only like 20 of us or something.
Right.
And yeah, it's when my mom came and you took a picture of us right next to the outside of the court in that hallway.
Wow.
She still has that picture.
I remember that. Great family.
Yeah. Every time I see you, that's why I always make sure I come up to see you every time.
Well, thanks, man. It's neat to be able to be appreciated and thought of like that as well. Yeah. I appreciate that. But the racquetball world, I think we can all agree we're a tight family, especially those that get to compete against each other and at these events. And it's pretty special to be thought of like that. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Always. You know me.
Rocky, we've got a question from Timmy Hansen.
All right.
He wants to know, how many world championship titles do you have?
I have 5. I want to have 6 this year. That's what I was focused on Guatemala for quite a while. But I do have 5 world titles. I can actually, why don't I just go through them for us? My first one was Ireland in 2010. That was against Jack. I shared that story earlier. Number 2 was, I believe, South Korea, 2012. Oh man. Then I believe I won my third one. Oh boy. I believe that might have been Canada 2014. That could have been 2016. No, it's 2014. 2016, I believe. So what was that? 3?
Yeah.
I got one in Colombia. And before that was the Dominican Republic. So 10,
Wow.
12, no, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, 5 of those. So, and the World Championships, for everybody that doesn't know, is held every 2 years. So we don't get that opportunity to compete on a yearly basis. So that, in my opinion, I've competed and I've won. I've been able to win a ton of events. Thank the Lord for those. When it comes to the U.S. Open, to the other ones, the World Championships, to be able to ever say you're a world championship, to me, and the first thing is the most important title I believe anybody could ever have, is to be able to be world champion. And the other 2 probably that would go in there with that would be the Pan American Games. Is just such a neat feeling to be able to win that. That one, feeling wise, I remember going into those when I won those, and that was just so much I wanted out of that, and stuff. And I wanted to win the championship for myself. I wanted to win it for my team. I wanted to see everybody have a gold. I wanted to be able to lead my team in those directions and stuff. So those were 2 of the things that really meant a lot to me. Obviously, the U.S. Open does too. That's something we play in our home country and stuff like that every year. So.
Well, that's amazing. It really is. And I know that everybody really appreciates all the training and hard work and efforts you put into representing Team USA. And as you said when you first came in, it is an individual sport, but I would imagine when you put that USA uniform on, it takes on a little bit different view than just an individual sport. You're now competing as a team, and everybody gets a medal for however the team does. So yeah. That's neat.
It really does. It's special.
Yeah. Well, we've taken a lot of your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to everybody, giving us some stories and insights into what the athletes are doing in Guatemala now. And we wish them the best of luck, and hope they bring home a whole bucket full of medals. So, Rocky, thank you very much. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and go USA. And we can all watch Team USA, I think, at the IRF YouTube page, International Racquetball Federation.
Yeah, I think it starts tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah, and Malia Bailey's been broadcasting a lot of it.
Okay.
So we've had some streaming on Facebook off and on that people have been sharing around. It's really been, cell phones now are such good high quality that the streaming is amazing to watch that off someone's phone. So it's really
cheer these guys on, follow them, send them some words of encouragement. Go USA. We have a lot of downtime while we're at these events. We do enjoy when we are at them, communicating with you guys, because in some ways we feel like we're a world away from you guys, everybody here in the United States. So, cheer them on, send them some love, and hey guys, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you, Rocky. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Your brother.
What a great guy. I mean, just
most decorated man in IRF history.
Yeah, that's impressive. It's really cool, and he's just such a nice guy.
Yeah,
you can have a simple conversation with him, and he doesn't. When he talks about all the awards he's won, everything he's done, it's not boasting. It's just he truly feels he enjoys this, and like I said, he cherishes all of it. So he's a great representative of USA.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. All right. Well, I think that we're going to put one more pitch out. I see the streamer going across the bottom for Giving Tuesday. So everybody, please go on the website, click on the button, and donate a little bit. We really appreciate it. USA Racquetball is working hard. We help support our teams to get the teams to and from these kind of competitions. We have a very special person at the championship in Guatemala, Cheryl Kirk is there as the team leader, and she's writing a blog every day with all kinds of amazing information. If you're not seeing her blogs, please go to the USA Racquetball Facebook page. You'll find each day she puts up a long blog. She stays up late at night putting these together. And it's got a lot of information about what's going on with the matches and the players, and does interviews. So if you get a chance, go read those. They are really great. A great way to feel like you're involved in the tournament. You can really feel what the players are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know she puts a lot of passion and work into putting those out for everybody. So
thank you, Cheryl.
Yep, we really appreciate it. Maurice, any parting words before we go? We've been on for a little over an hour now.
Let's see. First of all, thanks everybody if you tuned with us for an hour, because I appreciate it. Like and share the feed, please. Try to get it to as many people as possible. If you've got any questions, please send them to Mike, please send them to me, send them to Connor, send them to anybody you want, because we really do want to answer those questions. If you want to know about anything or learn about anything, feel free to ask me. I promise you I'm going to respond. I'm going to try to get Mike on a racquetball court, try to get Connor on a court. Just everybody have fun and be safe. Racquetball is the greatest sport on the planet. If you ever need if you ever need anything, you want to reach out, let me know. There's a junior who's watching. You ever want anything up, please let me know. I have no issue. And it really is genuine responses. Like, if you ask me how to do something, I'm going to tell you how to do it genuinely, because I'm actually going to care that you want to get better. Because if you reach one, teach one, you might go out and show your friend that, and it'll only grow it. Yeah, Mike, I promise you I'm getting you on a court. That's like the only thing I can get through my head. I promise you right now. Also, please, Giving Tuesday,
Yes.
Right? Rocky has been able to show you all the experiences he's able to go through over the World Championships, through Pan Ams, through everything. Please help Team USA get these athletes out there, because there might be another athlete who's able to provide these stories with you, especially for the next coming generation, for juniors and for the adult team. I really appreciate it.
And these trips are very expensive to put together, and USA Racquetball pays the expense and travel and the time to stay. So we really support our Team USA, and we'd like your help helping us support them. So as Maurice said, teach someone how to play. It's contagious.
Yep.
Get them on court. When you go to play on the court, remember to reserve the court. That way it shows in the log system that the court's been busy, and clubs appreciate that, and they'll keep those courts available. All right, next show is going to be Game 33, the Real Racquetball Show. It's going to be Monday, December 13th. We are into December already. Good grief.
Oh, what is going on?
I've got to get my snow blower mounted on my tractor, so we're going to be ready to go.
What?
I know.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it later.
I knew that. All right, Maurice, it's been a lot of fun. Appreciate you coming on the show and doing this with me. Great guests, great show. We will see everybody on the 13th.
Absolutely.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.